What about this NATO summit? Obviously, the timing is linked with this sort of show of force from Putin. Lots of talk about President Biden and his mental capacity at the moment. But actually, funnily enough, NATO might be quite a good sort of showcase for him. He spent so long working on foreign policy in Washington. He was vice president for Obama, travelled the world.
Yeah.
You know, this might be just the perfect timing for him to kind of secure and shore up his position, just as he's written to all of his, call them, senators.
He certainly rates himself on foreign policy.
Yeah.
He always has. But Robert Gates famously said he's got every single foreign policy decision wrong for the last 4 decades. He will have a teleprompter at NATO, so that will help. He seems to be able to get through a speech with a teleprompter, but he's getting a lot of flack at the moment. And he tried to go on the offensive yesterday, called into this TV show, didn't appear by video, interestingly. They think so that he can use notes. It'll be, if he has a major slip up at this summit, I think the calls for him to go will become overwhelming. That said, if he's not willing to go, how do you get rid of it?
Yeah, and also someone was explaining to me that actually if he did suddenly decide to step down, all of the funds that have been raised under his name, effectively, cannot be used for whoever would take over. So that's a huge concern about what to do with all the cash.
Unless it's Kamala Harris.
Unless it's Kamala Harris.
Because Kamala Harris is on the ticket.
Yeah.
Although everybody thinks there's so much cash involved, the Democrats will surely find a way of getting around it and just get every donor to repledge it to the candidate. But
they might not like the new candidate. That's my point. You know, if they pledged
they probably won't. But increasingly, a lot of the donors are saying we can't go on with Joe Biden, and they're now talking about a blitz primary. You know, where they'll do a sort of mini primary with, you know, Oprah Winfrey is going to be. They'll do little debates with Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama, you know, interviewing various candidates as a sort of little mini TV spectacular, which would be great for the news industry. I'm not sure it would be great for the Democratic Party.
No, I don't think so. I think he would be particularly weak in a Oprah Winfrey style type interview.
Yeah.
And also, he's got his spokespeople saying that he's not being treated for Parkinson's disease, for instance. And if they actually think whatever he has been officially diagnosed as or being treated for, there's something there. Because a blind man on a galloping horse can see that this man is not right. So I don't care if it's Parkinson's or what it is, there is something ailing this man and everybody can see it.
Well, yes, and what I find particularly phony at the moment is the sort of Washington press corps who've all known about this. And you talk to any Washington journalist who's been in the White House lobby for the last 4 years, they've been talking about this for ages, but now they're feigning this. Why did the White House not square with us? That this was going on. It's been obvious to anyone looking at Joe Biden. I met Joe Biden very briefly in 2020. I could tell there was something not right with him then. And it's got a lot worse, and it's getting dramatically worse this year. And they were all covering for him. They really were. And the incestuousness between the Washington press corps and the Democratic Party is one of the reasons why we've gone on with this charade of pretending that Joe Biden is fine for a long time when he clearly isn't.
The awful thing is him pretending he's fine. He either doesn't know, in which case he has to be stood down, or he does know, and therefore he's lying to us and it's fraudulent, and his family should intervene on this as well.
I think one of the interesting things about Joe Biden is his ego is Trump-like in its size. He's an extremely proud man. He genuinely believes it's his destiny, a divine destiny, to beat Donald Trump and to do it again. And it's very hard to persuade someone that that's not their destiny.
I thought it was the letter. He said, nothing but the Lord Almighty will stop me from running in November. And then you just imagine all these Democrats on their knees praying more ardently than ever before.
And saying, oh, we're running out of patience with people telling me to quit. Well, people are running out of patience with it.
Interesting.
Okay.
Thanks, Freddie.
Thank you. Speak again later. Thank you very much indeed.